In a distinctly Kiwi version of Pampalona's famed Running of the Bulls, the small New Zealand town of Te Kuiti witnessed its own woolly version. As part of the ever-popular New Zealand Shearing Championships, where the country's top farmers try to outdo each other in removing a sheep's fleece, organisers decided to parade 2,000 sheep through the town. With legendary All Black rugby player Coley Mead leading the flock, it seemed that nothing could go wrong. But the sheep, perhaps in revenge for the humiliation of being sheared in public, took it upon themselves to take off on an unscheduled romp through town. Storekeepers and bank tellers had to keep the sheep out of their premises as thousands of delighted spectators looked on. Despite the mishap, Te Kuiti officials are considering making the sheep parade an annual event.
Now we hop over to Germany, where minders at a Berlin animal home were stunned when they received a cat named Mikesh, a black and white house cat who weighed a staggering 18.5 kilograms. He is about 6 times the weight of cats his age and is so bloated from his poor diet that he is incapable of normal tasks. Apart from not wanting to be removed from the lap of luxury, the 6-year-old feline seemed reluctant to make the move to his new address after his owner was himself relocated to a residential home. Animal shelter workers said he felt lost without his meat-feeding owner and stopped eating altogether when he was put on a diet to gradually lose weight. It could be termed animal cruelty because the cat cannot clean himself and he is exhausted after taking only a few steps. His heart does not work correctly, nor can he breathe properly. A shelter worker will take Mikesh home with her for 10 days to help get his appetite back. Cats usually weigh between 3 and 6 kilograms. A cat should receive about 300 grams of food a day. This cat received 2 kilos of steak tartare every day. Mikesh may become famous in Germany, but he won't make it into the Guinness Book of World Records. A spokesman for Guinness World Records said that they don't keep track of fat cats any longer, but said the existing record was 18.55 kilograms, a cat from Minnesota named OT. It may be that Mikesh, spoilt as he was, has used up a few of his 9 lives. Let's hope he doesn't have too much trouble dropping a few sizes.
Kenyan wildlife authorities are struggling to understand how a baby zebra they noticed in a game park was born without the normal black and white stripes. The nearly 4-week-old zebra was found at a park near the capital Nairobi, and officials said wildlife experts would carry out further studies to understand the reason it was born white. Wildlife officials say that this phenomenon can only be associated with some pigment issues. The little white zebra hopped and pranced around its herd, pushing its pink snout under its mother's belly to suckle like any newborn zebra, oblivious of its dissimilarity. KWS said they would not separate the little one from its herd and hoped that it could grow into full maturity. There are no records of there ever having been a white zebra before, but the cases of paleness and lines that are not distinct has been noticed in other places in Kenya, particularly on the Mount Kenya Game Ranch area. Zebras are vulnerable in the face of hunting pressures and habitat loss because they reproduce slowly. Mares foal only every other year. Zebras are wild herbivores that resemble donkeys but are truly the living relatives of the horse. They are specialised for running and grazing on grasses, which rapidly wear down the teeth. Zebras are migratory, depending on the supply of fodder. Workers are monitoring this baby zebra every day to ensure they know what is happening. The little white zebra will continue to keep researchers and visitors wondering for a while where all the stripes went.
Tully's Farm is a thriving UK retailing business selling much of its own produced goods directly to the public. It was a pick-your-own farm until 1992, before being transformed into a farm shop. They now sell 35 different types of fruit and vegetables grown on-site and attract a large clientele. The farm shop and associated businesses have up to 50 staff and has recently been expanded, taking in new technology. Nevertheless, there's still a rustic feel of a traditional English farm. They try to have local products on sale at the farm, and in the summer they have their own fruit and vegetables available. They want to help the local community by using the local products. Elsewhere, they've already begun planting gooseberries and raspberries for this summer's Pick Your Own. They've also introduced a range of garden ornaments and furniture. Last year, they attracted around 400,000 visitors, many of them coming to try the tea rooms, where traditional food and drink is served. People can shop around the farm and have a break in the tea room. The tea room is traditional and has a friendly atmosphere. It's a great family day out. Tully's farm turns over $3 million a year, and there are already plans to expand the business further.
The German postal service might be one of the world's most sophisticated, but in the Spreewald region, south of Berlin, mail is still delivered by boat, just as it was more than 100 years ago. From the start of April until October, Germany's only postal boat is cruising along many canals in eastern Germany. The postal boat is a 9-metre long and 1.6-metre wide wooden boat, which is manoeuvred along the canals with the help of a 4-metre long stick. The 50-year-old postal worker, Uta Prudenz, has been delivering mail by boat for 13 years and finds it much easier and more pleasant to deliver some 600 letters and 30 packages daily by boat than by bicycle. She delivers mail to about 80 households, whose mailboxes are mostly right in the canal within easy reach. Many of the continental European canals and locks still in use were constructed as early as the 16th century, long preceding highways as reliable transportation between villages and market towns. Since the canals were the main street, impressive buildings were frequently designed to display their best face to the action. During the winter months, the postal worker has to do this tour using a bicycle, which means she can't reach every mailbox. The boat is ideal because she can reach every mailbox. Uta says she delivers everything, including packages. She also sells stamps, pretty much everything a mobile post office would do. Before the times when the postal boat was introduced to this popular tourist area, residents used to stop by the post office and pick up their mail, for example, on the way to church. When the canals got too crowded with boats, local authorities opted for the postal boat. Canal boats are a lovely, relaxing way to travel, and there are canal boat holidays in the UK and Europe, including Germany. Germany is a culturally and historically significant destination with a vast network of canals, rivers and lakes, including the country's largest lake, the Maritzsee. You can even head to Brandenburg at the heart of reunited Germany and visit Berlin with its famous Museum Island. Canal barging vacations started in the mid-1960s when British inventors recognised the commercial potential of France's then neglected canal system. American companies got into barging in the 1990s. As the demand for this kind of holiday is steadily growing, fleets of barges and canal boats are proliferating on the European continental waterways. The best established barging routes include England, Holland, France and Germany. Each route is steeped in history, country atmosphere and culture, which faster-moving vacations fail to allow time to fully absorb or appreciate.
Now onto the environment, and British meteorological experts predict extremes of hot and wet weather around the globe over the next 50 to 100 years. This follows analysis by the UK's Hadley Centre for Climate Prediction and Research. The climate around the world is rapidly changing. Extremes of weather are becoming more common, and it's becoming hotter and wetter in many countries. And there's also the extreme of droughts in other places. British climate experts believe much of this is man-made. Whilst global industrial emissions and pollution are a major cause for concern, governments can take steps to prevent extreme changes. The Hadley Centre have also set up PRECIS, a computer system where 27 countries can work out their own localised long-term weather predictions. It's hoped that by being able to predict weather trends, nations will formulate long-term policies to prevent the ravages of weather extremes.
British scientists are studying the breathing habits of cold water fish in a new bid to see how their knowledge could be used to help humans, especially in surgery. The team at the University of Birmingham have been looking at the Antarctic cod, which maintains a heart rate of less than 10 beats a minute in cold temperatures. The olive-coloured fish has adapted to living in freezing waters on a very low heart rate. If the human body temperature drops to such low levels, it could be fatal, and scientists want to know how the cod does it. Scientists are trying to find out how to regulate the heartbeat, how to control the cardiovascular system at very low temperatures. British scientists believe understanding how the fish controls and slows its heart rate at extreme temperatures could lead to advances in heart surgery. It's hoping this research will push cardiovascular surgery into uncharted waters.
Next in our health section, the findings of a national opinion poll will surprise many. Though smoking is well known to increase the risk of cancer, awareness of the link between being overweight and cancer was minimal. A new medical survey in Britain this week reinforces the links between obesity and cancer, and it says too few people are aware of the connection. The survey by Cancer Research UK highlights the need of greater awareness, and the organisation is pushing for more people to get out and exercise regularly. Especially among non-smokers, obesity poses the biggest preventable risk factor. The report also points to the extra danger faced by women who are overweight. The Race for Life series throughout Britain has been a big success, encouraging women to take part in a 5-kilometre run for charity. The message is to build exercise into your daily routine. Getting started can be the hardest part. Modern life offers few chances for exercise, combined with more sedentary jobs. Keeping your heart active has long been known to be a vital ingredient to a healthy life. The next step is spreading the message that exercise and keeping to the right weight can reduce the risk of cancer.
The world's largest toy car show, featuring over 2,000 Hot Wheel cars, has been opened in London. The tiny die-cast model cars that speed around tracks at high speed have been popular for over 35 years. Now, the company behind them are launching 100 new models. Hot Wheels have been a major force in toy car sales for 36 years. The high-speed die-cast cars, which race around special tracks using friction, have proved popular across all generations. They are also affordable for all. Kids can even afford to buy them with their pocket money. The cars, which perform gravity-defying loops and jumps, still continue to generate interest in the age of computers. Now, 100 new die-cast models have been launched, reflecting today's street generation. The company behind Hot Wheels are capitalising on some of the trends of today's culture with their new line, incorporating the sort of exaggerated style of car that is coming through the market today. Hot Wheels continue to be popular with both young boys and girls, with the 100 new die-cast models already being marketed in stores. Hot Wheels looks set to continue to be as popular as ever.
A small, slim and unassuming book is the star of Christie's upcoming English drama auction in New York. It's a 3rd edition Hamlet, published in 1611 when the author William Shakespeare himself was still alive. This is only the 3rd edition that will ever be likely to come up for sale. The 19 others are in museums and collections. It is valued at between 1.5 and 2 million US dollars. While normally a 1st edition would be more desirable, when it comes to Hamlet, it's the 3rd editions that people want. The 1st edition was not officially sanctioned by Shakespeare and was highly abbreviated, having been printed from stolen text or copied in shorthand at the theatre. The front cover of the 3rd edition reads, "Newly imprinted and enlarged to almost as much again as it was, according to the true and perfect copy." When this 1611 edition was printed, it would have cost only a few shillings, would have had no protective cover, and would have been used as someone's knockabout copy, a paperback manuscript to be tossed away, not kept for 4 centuries. The 1611 Hamlet is part of a sale of books from the estate of Mart by Countess Eccles, an American collector of rare books. The auction will also feature other rare editions of Hamlet, Macbeth and more Shakespeare greats. 400 years on, it remains an endless source of inspiration and interpretation by actors and scholars alike, and is considered one of the greatest works of the Western civilization. Now for our fashion story, we head to Japan, where Japanese fashion designers showcased their autumn-winter collection in Tokyo. Tokyo's catwalks have been busy this week as the nation kicks off its major fashion collection shows. Over 50 designers had models on catwalks strutting their stuff for buyers and fashion lovers in a myriad of venues across the city. Yasukos Furuta's Metalcore Fantasy Autumn-Winter 2004-2005 collection has the press talking as it slithers past a packed room that normally serves as the mixed zone of the National Soccer Stadium in Tokyo. Models with deep red lipstick and black rouge and teeth coated with gold flitted down the catwalk in a ghostly procession of red knit jackets, wool dresses, corsets and red thick tights of the fashion brand Toga. A glittering finale of shiny metallic evening dresses brought the collection to a show-stopping end. Eri Utsugi, fashion designer for Frat Boys, unveiled her latest collection inspired by Tokyo's growing street fashion. She said she usually gets her inspiration from ordinary people on the street. For Eri, becoming a designer was a realistic dream. Born in Tokyo, she got early exposure to making clothes through her mother, who was a dressmaker. Before long, she was making odds and ends from pieces of fabric scattered about her room. Her mum would always give her a few tips and help with needlework. Eri designs for both men and women of all ages, and they reflect her cheerful nature. For Eri, wearing clothes should be fun. Her colourful ranges of cowboy outfits were played off models in red pullovers and gingham checkered pants. As for the men, golden trousers were worn under a pleated beige cape. In the evening wear, Utsugi suggested lace trousers and big collared white shirts under black jackets. Still a relative newcomer to the Tokyo fashion scene, she debuted in the Tokyo collections in spring of 2001. Eri came up with her brand name by using a combination of the French words frapper, hit, and bois, wood. Similarly, triptych designer Harumi Fukuda, who started his career selling clothes at a popular fashion boutique in Tokyo, chose to set her collection in a film studio. Fukuda's crisp creations included black thick wool short dresses and short brown jackets worn with leather accessories and knee pads. For years, Tokyo has been trying to assert its place on the world fashion stage, along with Paris, Milan, London and New York.
We move on to travel, and Argentina's newest wildlife reserve has become one of the country's most popular attractions, not one to be missed. In the middle of one of Argentina's most industrial neighbourhoods, in the most densely populated area of the country, a small piece of the jungle is flourishing. Minutes from a noisy, traffic-congested highway, a group of surrogates run around on the rocks of their habitat while two imposing felines attract the gaze of hordes of children arriving at Tamaican Park, which means land of life in the indigenous language. Tamaican, just 1 hour from the center of Buenos Aires, is a project of the Perez Companc family, one of the richest in the country and owners of a number of food and energy companies. The park, unique in Latin America for its biological diversity, is divided into 3 sections: Asian, African and indigenous, and includes alligators, Indonesian bats, penguins and Bengal tigers. According to park officials, Tamaican tried to respect the natural habitat of the animals and aims to preserve species and carry out educational projects about the importance of protecting the environment. The aquarium attracts the visitors' attention, many of them children who watch with amazement as different types of fish swim past them. The park veterinarian explained that the animals' experience inside the park remains as close to that of their natural habitat as possible. There are no bars and no walls. There are only natural barriers. Tamaican, which covers an area of 25 hectares, opened its doors in Escobar on July 20, 2002, at a time when the Argentine economy was suffering the worst economic crisis in the world. The moment may not have seemed opportune for an investment of $64 million, but the founders went ahead with the project anyway. Since its opening, the park has had over 1 million visitors, including Argentines and foreigners, most of whom come from other Latin American countries. A group of veterinarians and caretakers make sure that the stars of the park have all their needs met. Should the necessity arise, a hospital with the latest technology awaits to take care of the animals' needs. The hospital is also a training hospital. There are a multitude of animals to excite and enthrall, from deer to ostriches and the ever-popular monkeys. It's definitely worth putting down on your must-see list, so don't forget to visit.
Ever considered playing golf in temperatures which plunge below the freezing mark? Playing a green frozen over with the rain and snow? Then this is the place for you. John Wells, a golfing pro from the United Kingdom, was the winner of the Icy tournament held on the island of Svalbard in the northernmost territory of Norway. Wells managed to drive more accurately, lose fewer balls and putt across irregular ice greens more smoothly than the other 33 competitors in the unusual match. The weather was bright and sunny while the 9-hole course was being constructed, but became overcast and windy during the tournament. Originally, organisers planned on playing an 18-hole course, but when the players got there, the conditions were pretty difficult. There was rain, which was pretty unusual, and all the snow turned the green into rock-hard ice, so they reduced it to a 9-hole course. Players were warned temperatures at the location could drop to minus 30 degrees Celsius during play. The golfers, many of them professional, found the brightly coloured balls bounced erratically and seldom putted true. Nicole Matern of Spokane, a Futures Tour player in the United States, was enjoying the game particularly because there was always a possibility of seeing polar bears. The organisers had a number of polar bear spotters positioned around the course, armed with powerful big game rifles, bolt action in case any of the players were stalked. They are prepared to shoot to kill, aiming for the chest. Polar bears are notoriously fierce carnivores and must be treated with caution. After the first round, the leader was former European Tour player Per Horsrud with a round of 76-4 over par. The eventual winner, John Wells, was one of a group of 78. Wells took the lead by shooting a consistent 78 to win by 1 stroke. Despite the unusual natures of the game, the freezing conditions and the difficulty of play, all competitors had a great day. Well, that's all we have time for this week. We look forward to your company next time.